I believe that Coach Carroll, his message told us, hey, fellas, I understand how you are, I understand your personalities, but I need you guys to scale it back. And when you talk amongst the fellas, we didn't necessarily like that or agree with that. Hey, Coach, we're doing this. We have this style. We're winning. We are kicking tail. Like, we're like, this is what gets our competitive juices flowing, going at each other like that. Don't pull us back. You as a coach, you got to structure it properly, but don't just pull us all the way back. Let us continue to go at one another. Let us continue to get better. And I believe that's something that kind of, when you look at the Seahawks over the years, we kind of scaled it back.
Well, you know why, though, KJ? I mean, I speak to college
I know why.
I speak to college coaches about this, and David Shaw, who just stepped down at Stanford, would be the first to tell you, why did the program change? Why did they fall off the cliff so dramatically? Well, we can't hit anymore. We can't have two-a-days. We can't have the kind of camps that we had for year after year after year, where you callous people, you harden people, you toughen people. They take the pads away from us. We can't hit. So you have the NFLPA out there at your practices, and they're filming everything, and they're fining the club substantial money. They're taking away draft picks. Right. You can't practice that way. Yep. That was not the owners. That was not the league. That was the Players Association.
That's not right. That's not it. That's not it at all, Brock.
Really?
That's not it at all.
Whoa.
That's
okay, not KJ. Okay.
What it is that there's certain personalities within the locker room that don't necessarily fit with this style that a lot of the guys are bringing to the table. So what we got to do is let's adjust our personalities a little bit to fit with, certain personalities, so we gel well together, if you know what I mean. Does that make any sense?
I think it does, but
I think you're trying to protect some personalities.
You know how I flow. You know how I rock. We gotta take how we operate, how we do the craziness that we bring to the table, and fit it with the group
style. That's not as competitive, not as crazy, not as willing to deal with that.
You know what I mean?
That I do, but that seems like a complete violation of Pete's philosophy in every way.
No.
Wow, that's not what I expected you to say. I thought it had maybe something to do with the next generation of players being drafted and maybe not being able to live up to some of that same level of competition, et cetera.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. When you look at the personalities we had on defense, we had some dudes, and when you look at certain spots,
but not the Legion of Boom guys. You mean the guys drafted after them, the guys who came
the LOB,
I know,
the only group that matters.
I'm saying, what about the rest of the group who came after them? Did they have the same level of intensity, personality, etc.?
I'm talking about my group.
Well, these are guys that are part of your group.
They didn't. No, to answer your question, they did not.
Yes,
they did not. Didn't sniff it. Didn't come close to it. They tried, but we was one of a kind, once in a generation. And when you look at certain positions on the team, all right, guys, you cannot bring this type of personality on this side of the ball. You cannot bring that over here. When you get an interception, you cannot come and just throw it at the lap of our quarterback. We cannot operate like that. So scale it back. Let's scale it back a little bit. Let's get this thing right. Let's love one another. Let's connect. Let's be cohesive as a team. It's not the defense versus everyone else. That's how we gotta operate. Yeah, you guys are looking like, yeah. That's how we gotta operate as a unit going forward.
I know that Mike wrote about this a couple weeks ago. That Jody Allen's decision and the decision she made to stick with the coach and to believe that he and John Schneider and the very essence and the culture of what they built, KJ, the first time around, she was going to believe in that rather than the quarterback. And she was the tip of the spear. She had to make that decision. Salk wrote a great piece about it. So I'm curious. I'm gonna frame this appropriately.
Yeah.
Were there a number of guys that came in some of those years where you felt like, gosh, Pete, just get back to being what you were. Get back to promoting what you did versus maybe succumbing to, or what was the word you used, Salk, a couple weeks ago, where he just
that's what you mean.
Not placated
or
he
compromised.
There you go. That's exactly what it was. That he compromised some of his dog in order to foster some of what you're talking about?
Absolutely. And certain guys came into our building, certain personalities came in, like, who is this guy and why is he on the team? He doesn't fit this brand. He doesn't fit what we stand for. This dynamic that he's bringing to the team is
Can I ask about a guy in particular? I'm not going to go with the quarterback or any of that. I'll stay away from that. But there's a moment in the Seahawks history of the last decade
I think I know where you're going.
I have thought for a long time. In the moment I loved it, I thought it was going to be the thing that pushed the team over the top.
We were at a gas station in Arizona, high-fiving.
Jumping up and down in March. We thought it was the greatest thing that had happened. And as I look back on it, I think it was a gigantic mistake to trade for Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
Is that and I'm not taking a shot at Jimmy. Jimmy is who he is.
Yeah.
Who's Jimmy?
Fantastic player, unbelievably skilled in the right system. He is one of the best players in the league. But an awkward fit because he's a tight end that doesn't block for an offense and a team that says they want to be physical.
Yep. And to be as blunt as to be blunt, we looked at Jimmy. No one really from when he was with the Saints, we didn't like Jimmy Graham.
Right.
We did not like Jimmy. We looked at him. It was like, I just want to just knock this guy's face off. I could take a 15-yard penalty for the team. That's how we felt about Jimmy. And then it comes to the team. We was like, okay, he's our guy. He's on our team. We gotta love him. But he doesn't fit what we want to do. And when Jimmy came here, Jimmy was expecting a Drew Brees. Like, bro, we don't operate like that. We're going to give the ball number 24. And if you're open, we may get it to you, but you're not going to be the featured guy on this offense. And he's unfortunately was a rule number 2 violator. No whining, no excuses, no complaining is rule number 2 of the program. Jimmy, I don't want to hear that you're not getting the ball, bro. What were you expecting coming here? And so when you look at when he came in, high flying, we traded Max Unger. Max Unger left.
Yep.
That hurt.
Yeah.
That hurt our whole dynamic as a team. Jimmy Graham for Max Unger, and you look at the history, he had some successes last year with us, but overall, no, you don't fit.
Your local home for all things Seahawks and Mariners. The home of your favorite sports insiders is Seattle Sports.